Where is it? The true you or the real you don't even exist in this. It exists in the field, because feelings are really nothing but electrical impulses. That shit come and go. And then at the core of everything, you're nothing but electrons repelling off itself. So, yo, really, where is this sense of consciousness or awareness? Where does it exist? You're just a creative aspect of energy, a dynamic, which means situation of energy. It's constantly moving, trying to experience or express itself in this kindergarten of the absolute that we call the earth. This is a field of energy expressing itself, going through different stages of evolution, different stages of life forms, different challenges, going extinct, becoming something different. Doing all this shit just to express this level of chemical energy that we exist in, within this little blue dot surrounded by radiation that we call the earth. It's definitely amazing. And you are that same beginning force, or that same beginning stage that exists prior before the visible universe that occurred 13.8 billion years ago. You're all that shit that's going through a unique phase right now. You're made of 13.8 billion-year-old atoms in a 28 or 30-year-old form for now. The particles or the atoms that make you up always exist. It's just like with the hoax gene or the Homeo toolkit. Old genes, new tricks. Well, old atoms, new form. Or old atoms, new trick. Is a single individual. The stuff that makes you up is completely old. Atomically, you're 13.8 billion years old. Biologically, as a Homo sapien, you're 200,000 years old. Chemically, for being on the planet Earth, you're 3.8 billion years old. So, directly right now, you might be whatever age you are. The species that make you up has a certain age. So you're just a phase of activity going through these different stages. Consciousness itself is energy. Consciousness means awareness. Energy means to work. So this energy is always working. Energy and consciousness and awareness, so different stages that it goes through, is always working consistently to try to create for itself. So the challenging aspect of this reality is overcoming those challenges and trying to overcome them to the best of your ability. That's what Ra and the Pepper's about. Elevating past it. And some people don't do it. And that's the challenge. It gets swallowed by a pep. You know what I'm saying? But it's all awareness. It's all awareness. It's all energy exchange. It's definitely an amazing thing, yo. Straight up.
I totally agree. So I believe personally that there was two questions. There was two possibilities: to create something or to create nothing. And in order to maintain harmony, nothing was created. Therefore, that awareness allowed itself to be concentrated in infinite number of situations in order to bear witness to it. I mean, it doesn't care if it's Michael Jordan or Muhammad Ali or the President of the United States. It doesn't care. It enjoys it for that moment, and then it checks out because it knows that this reality is not real. So it's like everything we experience wasn't created to show us the reality of nature, but to hide the true reality of nature. When you close your eyes, you see, is it really there or is it not really there? So, it's kind of confusing when you have to, eat and, get shelter, stay out of the forces which are opposite or opposes your existence, and, live within a community of people. So now we're living in different social structures, social forms, and where we look at each other as being different. We look at everything as being separate from everything. But in actuality, that's awareness perceiving itself to be separate just to have an experience, no matter what it is. And because it's all going to fade out.
It's all going to fade out. That's right. And it's perceived and only to create challenges. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, the elusive ego. I don't like this group. Only to create challenges, but it's still all awareness playing with itself. And this is why, again, we see our tomb playing with itself, symbolically speaking.
So it wins from every angle. It wins from the side of the good guy, and it wins from the side of the bad guy.
Absolutely.
It wins as Africans building pyramids, and it wins as European enslaving and building a whole new society based off of you. It doesn't really care.
It's all
I think
awareness.
we spoke about it earlier.
Yes.
We were the first humans on the planet. We migrated out of the continent obviously there became a point where we just would stand on the continent and whatever. I don't look at anything as being outside of nature. Nature, goddamn, made our ass have another migration. We didn't like it. We was forced to migrate. But whether it's a drought or a flood or colonialization, nature was like, yo, this is what's taking place. You can't fight it. Period.
You can't fight it. It's through laws. I mean, humans have this dynamic thing called a situation called the cerebral cortex, which is large. We have the largest cerebral cortex. It wants to create. It makes us more complex. So human beings being not doing enough, eventually, all things are subject to change. If you don't accept it, challenges are gonna come, and if you don't prepare for it, the harder it's gonna be. And that's what's wrong. That's what's wrong with reality. If you don't prepare for the subjects to change, if you don't prepare for the subjects to change or challenge, it's going to be more hard. And it's all part of nature. It's all nature. It's all nature, whether it appears to be good or bad. Nature is set laws. It's the laws. It's already set. And everything has a nature. So in the human nature, due to us having the cerebral cortex, it's very important for us to find a way out and in things. This is why we create societies and different things and communicate. 3 things is important about our species: how we think, how we feel, and how we communicate. If we're not doing none of that properly, it puts the species at a dangerous state psychologically. You know what I'm saying? In some cases, high levels of depression that can cause suicide. So, again, it's still awareness though. And if you're not keeping up with awareness or reaching your full potential is energy at rest, and you're not acting out on it kinetically, which is energy moving, you're suffocating yourself, and to a degree you shouldn't, due to you not acting out on your true nature. If you can't keep up with the challenge, you shouldn't be here. That's how dangerous it can get, because you're supposed to enact or continue on processing or creating within this process that we call life through the different stages and phases. This is the only reason why people go through depression, because they're not acting out on what they're supposed to act out on. And in some cases, some people have psychological disorders where the brain doesn't produce enough dopamine or serotonin from the gut to the brain, and it allows them not to do it. Sometimes people get addicted to drugs, and that's the only time they can produce those feel-good hormones, because they psychologically damage themselves. How can we keep up with the challenge? What's your cue, dog? What you got?
The challenge, it creates situations when Africans are in Africa with no outside cultures imposing their will on them. At one point in time, you're acting a fool's potential. You could have been a pharaoh god with hundreds of wives, hundreds of children, all the gold you want, all the wine you want, everything you want. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. And, you look at some scriptures, you become your best in the wrong situation. You might get crucified like Christ did. Or you might get poisoned like Prophet Muhammad did. Or you might get your brains blown out like Martin Luther King or El-Hajj Malik Shabazz. So it seems like consciousness puts itself in all types of situations. It puts itself in a situation as a gazelle, going through the plains of the Sahara or through the plains of some country, eating, running, being free as a bird. And then there's a lion in the bushes just waiting on you to slip, to just bite and eat you. That was conscious too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's
at the end, behind the program, it's all the same. But, behind the show, it's all the same. But while this picture is rolling, while these photons is being emitted, while these atoms are building itself up with lesser properties, oh, yeah. The show must go on.
You better keep up with the challenge. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yo, this is a great video for me and my brother Kufu, and this is what your brother Ngozi and brother Kufu do. We have bills like this. We talk about activity. We talk about life. We talk about this, man. And this is what we're going to start doing. We're going to start talking about, more things like this to try to, elevate the minds of the people to, get out of certain situations if they feel they can't. Because we all going through this challenge. We got to always remember that challenges always exist.